So here we are, week 2. Last week was canceled due to some glitchy lobbies, but we're at Paul Ricard. Here is my qualifying lap for race 1. So as you're watching the qualifying lap for race 1, I'll kind of give us a little bit of an intro. So last week I did not do well at Laguna Seca. Crashed out of one of our sprint races, completely my own fault, and then didn't perform well in qualifying for the other race, and in the season standings for my Wednesday night league, I'm sitting in 13th place, which is not where I expect to be, not what I was hoping for. So this is my first qualifying lap for race 1, hoping for a much better performance. Now my strategy for this qualifying lap was that I was going to go out and put in a just a safe time. I wasn't going to push hard. I wasn't going to try to do anything outrageous. Just put in kind of a safe time. And then for my second lap, I was going to push really, really hard to try to get like a top time. And really push the track limits and that sort of thing. And this is an interesting track for track limits because there's a few spots where you can go wide, and then it has these little pylons that, and here's an example right here. If you get back on track before those pylons, then it's not a track penalty. So I knew for the second lap I was going to really push to try to get my optimal time, but I just wanted to put a decent time in here. So the problem is I was not smart and did not put the correct amount of fuel, so I finished my lap here and was going to refuel, and then realized I didn't have time to do an out lap and a refuel. So because of that, we had to stick with my slow time, which put me at 12th. So here we go, starting the race 12th. I get a really good launch, but I obviously don't want to go 3 wide into turn 1, so I back out of it immediately. And I'm trying to be really, really safe here. You see Bentley off to the left, and trying to be really safe, watching my boundaries as a little bit of chaos is starting to happen in front. I get bumped a little bit to the side by that Ferrari there, but you know, all good. Still on track, still safe, no harm, no foul. But I know I got a lot of ground to make up, and I also know I have a lot of traffic I'm going to have to work through. One good thing is, in our league, you do have a mandatory pit that I can take, so when I'm in traffic like this, I like to take an early pit stop, so that I can get out of the traffic and get some clean air.
A little bit of chaos towards the back.
So that's going to be the strategy for this race. Is here in a minute I'm going to aim to take an early pit and get some clean air and catch a little bit of a rhythm. Go a little bit wide there, but I think I got back on track before those pylons. So I am keeping it clean. I'm not trying to do anything. I don't want to make any passes right now. This is just not the time for that. If we didn't have the pit stop, then maybe this would be the time for it, but
I do not want to get caught up in this.
Yeah, just not the time to make any bold, crazy moves. So I do feel like, you know, I'm able to keep a relatively clean first lap. I dropped from 12th down to 15th, which I don't love, and then there's an accident in front of me. I do my best to avoid the accident, but there we go, losing another position, and that accident put me off to the left, and I don't get over early enough or quick enough to get into the pits. So I slam on my brakes to try to make the pits, miss the pits, so I lose time to the crash. I lose time by slamming on the brakes to catch the pit stop and missing it. And I just really am a little bit frustrated at myself because I mean, I guess not at myself. It was unfortunate timing. Nothing I could do about it, but frustrated that I missed the pit stop. And so now I know I've lost time, and the strategy, that's just one more lap of having to be behind people in dirty air. Although they're obviously not slowing me down right now, because there is a decent gap. A decent gap to Orpheus in front. Orpheus, who has a pretty sick lime and black livery there on the Ferrari.
Let's not miss the pit this time. Right?
So now it's all about just finding a rhythm till I can get back to that pit. Let's see, I can't tell who that was, but someone goes off to the right there. I take a little bit of an evasive action and as they rejoin, so I don't make the pass, and then I kind of lose traction there, and again losing time. It's just kind of one of those starts to the race where there wasn't any outrageous accident that I was involved in, but so many little things that caused me to lose so much time. So here we are going to get to dive into the pits. And there we have it. Alright, so now that we've taken our pit stop and we're fast forwarding almost 20 minutes into the race, you can see there's only 5 minutes left. Nothing noteworthy happened in that last 20 minutes. It was just me cruising by myself. Pretty much passing people in the pits. So nothing exciting and worth showing on video, except for me just basically lapping in clean air. I do get my laps down to the 57s. My goal was to try to keep most of my laps in the 57s, and I felt like that was going to get me competitive. And I am making up a lot of progress here. I'm making up a lot of time on some people, but just the way the start of the race went, there's not much I could do. So we got Arizona Racer in our rear view. I think he maybe got caught up in an accident or something, but he started from the front, I believe, and now he's behind me. And he's a pretty quick guy, so as I see him in the rear view, I'm a little nervous, but I'm hoping to hold on to that 10th position. As you can see, now we're up to 9th, and the BMW is just so much better on the brakes, I think. I think Arizona Racer thought that, and you'll see it happen here again, that BMW is just so much better on the brakes than the McLaren. So he's like late braking as I'm having to early brake. In the first one, he hit me in the rear end, and I'm definitely getting distracted by it, being nudged once from behind, even though it didn't cause any damage. It's definitely like making me keep my eyes on the rear view mirror. But we're up into 9th, single digits. That's pretty good. Excited about that, considering we were down to 15th after the first lap.
I think the BMW is a lot better on the brakes.
Definitely
and
hoping to
I broke a little bit early there.
Maintain like somewhat of a positive finish to this race. So let's see how we do in these last 3 minutes. That corner is so satisfying when you get it right and you feel like you carry so much speed. This corner right here, I felt like I could never quite get right. Felt like I was always losing time through that slow corner. A lot of these slow corners, I just never feel like I'm doing it the fastest way that it can be done. But this track was fun. This was the first time I'd ever raced at Paul Ricard. It was definitely a fun track. Not the best for overtaking, but also not the worst. Alright, so we still see Arizona in our rear views.
That's immersion.
That big old BMW nostril there. making us nervous, and I can tell he's sending it up the inside, so I stay safe and leave him space. Honestly, I probably, in hindsight, should have at least like gone to the inside early before the braking zone and made him pass me on the outside, or at least made it a little bit tougher on him. But I think with 2 minutes left, I'm not trying to get into any accidents and lose too many more positions and too many more points, especially after not getting a lot of points last week. Just trying to maximize my points there, and I felt like the safest way was just to let Arizona through. It's definitely an aggressive move from him, but the BMW is so much better on the brakes in the current update on the Xbox. I've driven it a few times, and you can brake almost like 50 meters later, it feels like, which is such an advantage when trying to pass people. Again, that corner that I never feel like I do correctly. Definitely didn't do it correctly there. So now, with this time left, in my head I'm thinking 10th place finish, not too terrible. Not the best, but we can live with it. And then, turns out it was a good thing that I let Arizona through, as you will see what happens on the next and final lap. Catch that apex, that's good. Pretty clean through there. This first section felt very satisfying when I would get it right. That's these slow corners like that one right there. These long corners. I've got to figure out, the best strategy to get through those corners, because I feel like that's where I'm losing a lot of time to my competitors. I also got Ninja behind 1.6 seconds.
Into quali, and then there's a 5-minute break after quali.
Ninja chase. Close enough to have me a little bit worried, but also. And then we see Arizona off to the left. Oh my goodness, so he pulled over to the left there. I don't know if you were able to see that, but when he pulls over to the left there, he runs out of fuel. So it's a good thing I let him through when he was making the pass and didn't fight him too hard, because he ended up miscalculating his fuel, running out of fuel, which allowed me to safely bring home a 9th place finish.
I was wondering why you went off
somewhat
to the left.
decent considering I started 12th, dropped down to 15th at the end of the first lap, but also definitely not where I had hoped to be. Definitely not where I had hoped to be. So 9th place finish for race 1. Now we're diving into race 2 of the night and our qualifying lap. My first qualifying lap, which you're just seeing the end of there, I get a 57.1, way faster than during the first qualifying session. And I was smart enough to carry enough fuel to do 2 laps here. So the strategy actually works here, where the 57.1 was my safer lap time. And now I'm going to push. I do have a car in front, which I'm hoping, in my head right here, I'm hoping maybe I'll catch him on the really long straight coming up, and maybe I'll be able to use him as a tow and then get past him. Doesn't quite work out that way, maybe could have got me all the way up into pole position if that had worked. As you can see, I'm in third place after my first lap. So I think I'm maybe in the tow a little bit, but maybe just out of the tow, because my delta time's not climbing up that much. Maybe just a fraction. So now I just need to be clean the rest of the way to maintain this positive delta and bring that lap time down even more. You can see I'm 0.6. I think I'm about to be 0.7 in just a minute. Yeah, 0.7 up on my delta, so all I need to do is finish strong. 0.8, look at that. If we can just finish strong, and then, oh, I get nervous about Kalish rejoining as he goes off there, and kind of lose it just a little bit. So delta's dropping, delta's dropping, delta's dropping, and unfortunately, even though we were 0.8 up, unfortunately we only end the lap about 0.27 up on our delta, or 0.28. But good enough to secure a third place qualifying time. So that gives me hope here of like, man, race 2, we can get a podium in race 2 if we qualify third. And look, I'm only 0.2 off, and I was 0.8 up on my delta. I really could have come away with the pole if I had not messed up. The start of this race is going to be a little bit of a bummer. Somehow, even though I started third, somehow I'm immediately down into 5th place. Just some really good launches, I guess, and some aggressive moves right off the bat. But there's 4 cars in front of me instantly, even though I was on the second row. I watched it back a couple times and really could not figure out quite how that happened. And then, oh, my own teammate, Mikey, there, takes a lunge on the inside. And as Mikey lunges to the inside, catches my rear end. And obviously it was not intentional. He was a little late on the brakes. I was maybe a little early on the brakes. But I'm all the way immediately into 19th place. All the way into last place. Definitely a bummer. A little bit of lime on lime crime.
You're good.
And what was an awesome qualifying. I was super hyped to be in third. A little bit bummed to drop down to 5th, but I felt like I was going to be able to like compete with everybody in that race. But you know what? It is what it is. Wasn't anything intentional. Just an accident. So we keep rolling. And he immediately apologized on the headphone too, and accidents happen. I've made that mistake literally last week. It's the exact same thing I did to Ice last week, so can't be mad. So we are going to try to work our way from the back. Last race, we went from 12th to 15th, back up to 9th. I think we're going to do better this time. Alright, dive into the pits. You know, the early pit strategy that I like to go with. And we fast forward, and after some pits, I'm already back up into 12th. Catching some people in the pits. And there's still 17 minutes left. You can see on the screen on the bottom left that everybody around me has that green bar next to their name, meaning that they've already taken their pits as well. And I can guarantee the rest of this race is going to be pretty exciting. So despite being a frustrating start to the race, this was one of the most fun races in a while. So I got Black Ninja in front of me, got Thomas in front of him, I got Iron Mikey in front of him, and Iron Mikey's the person that caught me in the first lap. Again, my Lime teammate. Alright, this is a really, really good, I think it's this lap where I have a really strong last sector of the lap. And I catch up to Black Ninja very fast. I'm also wondering if the gold McLaren with the number 87 is inspired at all by I think Jimmy Broadbent's gold car in the Praga series is number 87 as well. I wonder if that's the inspiration. Anywho, we have a great back end of that lap, and Black Ninja comes on the headset and says, "You're faster than me, I'm gonna let you by." And I'm a little bit surprised by this, because I did have a really good ending of that lap, but that felt a little unnecessary because I was still a second behind him. But anyways, super nice gesture letting me through. However, funnily enough, now that I'm in front, I start making a ton of mistakes. And I don't know if it's because I was watching my mirror or the pressure of being in front of him, but he lets me by, and I feel like he immediately regrets it, because he's like, okay, well now I'm only 0.4 or 0.5 behind you, and you're making a lot of mistakes. So here I start making some really bad mistakes you'll see in a minute.
Woo!
Mistakes that I hadn't made the whole night, but like right there, awful.
Yeah.
Losing time.
I'm all over the
Then
place
right here
now.
I go off,
There you go.
and Black Ninja takes the
Good job,
spot
good job.
back, the same spot he gave me. So had he not done that, he probably would have been up there fighting with Skunkle and Thomas, and I probably would have been right behind him. But instead, he lets me in front, and I start driving terribly.
A little bit of a train for me.
And then he has to take the position back. But anyways, it's going to work out in the end. So we are moving forward. There's 7 minutes left, and then Black Ninja on the right side messes up and spins out,
Not by my own
giving me the position back. So now we're in 10th. We must have passed somebody in the pits during that time, but we're in 10th now with 7 minutes left. And it's seeming like I'm kind of going to have a similar finish to race 1, where I have a bad start to the race and then have to fight my way back just to get into the single digits. So let's see what happens with 7 minutes left. I got Thomas and Skunkle up ahead. And as I see them in the distance, I see they're about to go side by side into the fast right-hander.
I got a great seat to watch this.
And they're going to battle each other for this corner, which is going to slow them down, especially in a fast corner like that. And as they slow each other down, I'm able to gain on them and start to make my way into this battle, three-way battle for 8th place. So I'm trying to be smooth here, trying to stay consistent. As Thomas goes a little wide there.
Here we go.
Now we're getting close to that Aston Martin rear end.
Here we go. This is going to be fun.
Let's see if we can put some pressure on him. As he's focusing on one line in front of him and one line behind him. Not easy. And it looks like Thomas is all over Mikey's rear end. Then we also have Dad's taxi right in front of him. So really it's like 4 cars in pretty close proximity. We got 5 minutes left. Trying to get a good run out onto this straight. Not the best.
Here we go. A little lime sandwich. You're the
Thomas
bacon.
is staying in Mikey's toe. I'm maybe getting a little bit of Thomas's toe. And here they're going to challenge each other again. Ah, no, Thomas takes it easily.
Yeah, where it was
using that toe to his advantage. I think that's the best
so
way
funny
to make a pass on Paul Ricard is to get a good run out onto that straight.
Right.
So Thomas is into that 8th place position,
right now.
maybe ready to make some moves on Dad's
It's a
taxi.
little extra steamy here.
I noticed pretty much everybody's line was wider than me there. Thought that was interesting.
Come on, this is gonna be fun.
4 minutes left. We gotta push. I want to get into this fight, and I'm also like, the beginning of the race was such a bummer.
This is my apex.
The way things have gone, I'm kind of in the mindset of like
taxi drive-through. What happened?
wanting to be a little more aggressive on this in these last 4 minutes. Try to make a fun battle and try to get some passes. Let's see what happens. So we're coming onto that straight. Oh my gosh, and they got a great run compared to me. So I'm gonna miss out on their toe here. Unfortunate. Look at that gap in front now as they start to pull away. It's just so interesting watching these videos back and seeing what sections I'm losing time, what sections I'm gaining time. I mean, I got 3rd in qualifying, so my pace was good, but there's definitely
Man, you're awesome.
places there I could have improved. All right, look at this. Now we got Unstoppable in the mix. We got Dad's taxi right in front of them. So now we have a little bit of a traffic jam that's going to slow Thomas and Skunkle down for me. Or not Skunkle, Mikey down for me. I maybe said Skunkle a few times. I meant Mikey. Skunkle's my other Lime teammate. So Mikey goes wide. I do get a good run out of that last corner, and now I'm feeling like this is the lap. 2 minutes left. If I'm gonna make a move, why not now? Not a great line from Thomas, so we're able to kind of make up a little bit of room there. I'm on the brakes a little early to avoid rear-ending. It kind of bites me in the butt a little bit, but there we go. Good run out there. And now it's looking like we might stay in his toe. Let's see what happens.
Yes. Give me that toe, Tommy.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of a toe from Thomas here. I like that. Mikey's getting a little gap in front of Thomas and trying to maybe make a move on Unstoppable. And we lost someone ahead of us. I don't know. Somehow we're in 9th. I kind of missed that.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
Ah, pushed it a little wide there. Kind of understeered through the corner because I got on the power too early. So many of these corners, I know I could do better. Alright, last lap. We know it's going to be the last lap. It's now or never, and we don't get the best run out. So it's looking like Thomas is going to have clear space in front of us. We're up into 8th. Someone was in the pits. Mikey kind of holds up Thomas a little bit there. Gap's closing. Ooh, big mistake there. Now we're right on his rear end. Let's get a good run out here. Hit the apex. Good, good, good. And we are definitely going to be in his mirrors on this straight. So we are all over his mirrors now. Let's get that draft. I mean, the McLaren's not great on the straight, but like in a draft. In a slipstream, we can make up some ground. Probably move out of the slipstream a little early. But here, Mikey is kind of in front, slowing him down. So it's almost like some Lime teammate action there, because I'm able to get in front right there and kind of seal out Thomas. And then he's a little late on the brakes there, catches me on the rear end.
Oh no, what happened, Thomas?
Man, that was just a wild little sequence there. So we gain a position and get up into 7th. Then we get rear-ended, spin around, and get back on track, and we're in 8th.
Recover.
So I just think Thomas was just a little bit late on the brakes. I'm finding with the McLaren I'm just braking earlier than everybody else, because I think you have to with this car.
Hopefully you didn't lose too many.
And it keeps leading to me getting rear-ended. But we bring home the 8th place finish.
That was a full spin from me at the end.
So, qualifying 3rd, 8th place finish feels a bit like a bummer and a loss.
That was wild.
Having dropped down to 19th place at the end of lap 1,
that got me sweaty.
8th place feels pretty dang good. So it just depends on how you look at it. That last little bit of the race was so fun, chasing down Thomas, chasing down Mikey. Really, really, really fun. Just some unfortunate incidences, but that's what it's all about. That stuff happens. But it was a really, really fun race. Cannot wait for next week. So next week is going to be just a single 50-minute race at Barcelona. So instead of two 25-minute sprints, it's going to be a single 50-minute race. Really, really excited about that. Going to hopefully get some practice in. I'm now sitting 11th in the standings in our league. My goal would be to definitely finish in the top 5. Maybe potentially, I don't know, maybe top 3 if I can really get some good results. But right now, sitting 11th, that looks a long way away, but we got 6 weeks left. If I can get a good finish at Barcelona next week, which is where double points, we can definitely make up some ground there. But thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed.